Hi, Roger the Sleep Doctor here. I often get asked by salespeople, how do you sell adjustable beds? I hear comments like, I just don't feel comfortable with them, or my customers aren't interested in adjustable beds, or I just don't feel comfortable showing an adjustable bed. Well, those situations are for a lot of reasons. Number one is you never prejudge a customer because you never know how much money they have or what the budget is that they have in mind. But how do you take advantage of all the possibilities in a sale? I mean, the idea is if the customer is willing to buy an adjustable bed, are you willing to sell it to them? And the answer is yes. But how do you uncover the possibility? Number one is you have to be brave as a salesperson, meaning that what kind of questions could you ask the customer to uncover if it's a possibility even? Just because you may not be interested in an adjustable bed and out of your own pocketbook, maybe you don't think you could afford it, maybe you don't think they're a good idea, but there are a lot of customers and it's a growing number that are really interested in the benefits of an adjustable bed. So how do you go about it? What do you say to the customer? And it's simple, suggestive selling. What I'm going to tell you is very simple, common sense, but I'll guarantee you there's a certain percentage of people that listen to this video that still will not get out of their comfort zone and ask the customer if they're interested in an adjustable bed. So the other thing that I want to talk to you about today is how do you present an adjustable bed? It's one thing to get a customer on the bed, but it's another thing is how do I talk about it? I mean, one time, probably several years ago, I saw a really dynamic presentation. I thought, you know what, I could do that. And because I know my customers would be interested in that potentially. But by the time I got back to the store and got into my regular sales mode, I forgot all about it. Then when I had an opportunity to sell an adjustable bed, I forgot how. And it was like a fish out of water and I felt really uncomfortable. I felt stupid in front of the customer. So what I'm going to do in this video is we're not only going to talk about why to sell an adjustable bed, we're going to talk about how. And it's really cool. It's really simple, but you got to get yourself out of your comfort zone and get into an area where you can make more money. Now, more money sounds greedy, right? Well, the customer's willing to buy it. So it's not really greedy. The only thing you're going to do is just suggest it. Okay? All right. So here you go. ABCs. When a customer walks into your bedding department, you ask a simple question. Have you guys ever considered an adjustable bed? They might say, oh, what do you mean by that? Or they might give you a solid answer. No, we don't want one of those. Those are for old people, right? But the idea is to suggest it. And even if they're not really interested in it, you're going to make it fun and make it kind of an experience, an experimental experience for the customer in the bedding aisle, right? The idea is if you can teach the customer one thing in your bedding presentation, you have a better chance of making a sale, period. You may demonstrate an adjustable bed. Maybe they don't buy it, but maybe there's a greater chance that you're going to be able to close that customer, get them to buy a mattress from you, right? Even though it's not an adjustable bed. So you ask the simple question when you go into the bedding department, have you guys ever considered an adjustable bed? And then you have your other qualifying statements. Every salesperson asks, what size do you want? How much do you want to spend? Do you want firm or soft? You know, all those common, every order taker needs to find that out, right? But you're a professional salesperson, and that's what we're talking about here. I will guarantee you that if you take these tips, that there will be more times than not where you'll be able to sell an adjustable base to a customer that wasn't even looking at it. Okay, so here we go. let's say you got the answers to all the other questions. The size, do you want firm or soft? Who's it for? What's your budget, right? And you say, before that or after that, have you ever considered an adjustable bed? Well, no, we haven't. See, what you do by asking that question is you plant a seed. They may say yes, they may say no, they may be over the top thinking about it, said, they've been considering it for a long time, whatever. The idea is, though, you want to plant the seed. Are you going to show it right away? Maybe not, but that's okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to get into is presenting a mattress in the basics. Those of you that have been doing this for a long time, this will be, a little review, but what I want you to see is how it segues into the adjustable base, and how even when a customer that said they may not be interested in it, you're going to make it fun and experience. I mean, they're here anyway. Might as well find out about all the latest stuff in bedding, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool feeling to go through there, and hopefully you can teach them something, like I said before, and increase your chances of making that sale, even if they don't buy an adjustable base. Okay? So here we go. Okay, so this is my potential customer. It's actually Kyle. He's a salesperson in the store here. And so we're going to go through this little demonstration just on the basics, right? First of all, you want to get the customer to lay down on the bed, right? So what you don't want, here, stand aside just for a second. What you don't want is, hey folks, here's a bed here, based on what you told me, I'm going to have you try this bed. Oh, you go over there and then you do this. Can you demonstrate a mattress or talk to them about a mattress just sitting on the edge of the bed? No. You have to get them to lay down. How many of you have a hard time getting people to lay down? You'd be surprised how many people that is. The customer looks at the tag, sees the price, comes over, sits on the bed, and you're just sitting there like a little puppy dog with no control, right? So I'm going to tell you a couple ways that you can take control, okay? Number one is you qualify them and you find out those order taker questions like we talked about. Hey, you interested in an adjustable bed? Oh, no, not really, whatever. So you go over to the bed that you want to comfort test them on, right? Let's say the first one. And let's say Kyle here is going to come over, he's just going to sit on the bed. See, you can do that and you can start talking to the customer, but you have no control, and you know that you're not going to have a very good chance of selling that bed if that's all he does. So this is what you do. Kyle, come over here, right? So when you first approach the bed, what I want you to do is put your hand right where you want the customer to sit, with an idea that following, you're going to have them put their feet up and lay back, okay? All right. Kyle, it's nice to meet you. Come on, this is the first one I want you to test. Come on over here. I want you to sit right here. Okay, and then put your feet up, and I want you to lay back. Of course, I want to get Kyle a pillow because I'm going to sell him a set of pillows too. So there you go. Let me tell you the little secret about this. The customer will sit right where you put your hand, right? If you don't say anything to the customer, you know what a lot of them do? Well, I want you to try out this bed. Then they'll sit on the end, right? You've had people do that. How you can avoid that is to put your hand, when you introduce the bed, you put your hand exactly where you want them to sit, and they will sit right where you put your hand. But it's the perfect positioning for them to spin, put their feet up, and lay their head, and then you introduce the pillow, right? That's how you get the customer to lay down on a bed, right? And if it's a couple, if there are two people, the other person's listening, and so they'll actually follow your instructions and lay down on the bed in the same way, almost 100% of the time, okay? Okay, once you get the customer to lay down on the bed, it's a perfect opportunity to demonstrate the benefits to the adjustable bed. What are the benefits? When you raise the head of the bed it takes the pressure off your respiratory system. It's actually easier to breathe when your head is up. When you raise the feet, everybody knows that when you raise the feet to the level of your heart, it helps your circulation. There's a whole other history behind that I'll explain in a little bit. When you raise the head of the bed and you raise the feet, then it takes all the pressure off of your lower back. So an adjustable bed will help a customer with breathing, circulation, and also take the pressure off their lower back, okay? So as we get older, there are two key concerns. Number one is breathing. How many people do you know that have COPD, they're walking around with oxygen tanks? It's a very common thing, even the people that don't have oxygen tanks. The idea is when you elevate the head of the bed, it'll help you to breathe easier, okay? So there's those three key benefits. But you're gonna tell a customer, I'm gonna prove it to you, and you're gonna be able to feel it, the benefits of these things, okay? And here's what you do. What I want you to do is pre-program into your adjustable base that when you hit one button, the head will go up and the feet will go up to a certain position, okay? Now, I don't know if this one is programmed like that, but we're gonna give it a shot. There, the head is going up, the feet are going up, and we're gonna hold it in that position right here, okay? You can probably see it on screen, right? So the head is elevated, the feet are elevated. What Kyle doesn't realize, the customer doesn't realize right now, is this is the most relaxed state that you can put your back into, right? So when the head is elevated and the feet are elevated, it takes all the pressure off your back, but they don't realize that right now. So you're just kind of setting it up. Here's what you say. Remember, Kyle, I told you this bed is going to help with your breathing, that when the head is elevated, it helps you to breathe easier, and I'm going to prove that to you. What I want you to do is take in 2 slow, deep breaths, and I want you to feel the effort that it takes to breathe, okay? Go ahead. Okay, he's done that. As soon as he completes that last breath, you push the flat button because you want both ends to go down. Now, when both ends are going down, Kyle can really feel a difference here in a couple of different ways. So here's what you do. As soon as it's down, you say, Kyle, go ahead and take the same 2 deep, slow breaths and feel the effort that it takes to breathe. Right? So what Kyle's feeling right here is now all of a sudden there's a pressure on his chest. And it's harder to breathe when you're laying flat on your back like that. When your head is elevated, it takes the pressure off your respiratory system. This is the first of at least 2 wow moments that you need to sell this adjustable bed. Okay? So, now, also what Kyle felt is that when the head and the feet were up, remember I told you it's the most relaxed position for your back. It takes all the pressure off your back. When this bed laid down, he could feel the pressure coming on his back as it kind of stretched him out, right? And so you mentioned that. So I'm going to ask Kyle, how did it feel when I laid the bed down? Was it easier or harder to breathe?
Harder to breathe.
He said it was harder to breathe, right? And you could feel the pressure coming on your back too, right?
Yes.
And absolutely, you can feel it. Now, you also, when you elevate the feet, you know that it helps with circulation, right? Do you guys know the reason why it helps with circulation? You go, yeah, my grandma told me that, if you raise your feet, same level of your heart, and yes, all that's true, but I want to give you the science behind that, okay? Number 1, gravity pushes our blood down in our body. 70% of our blood is below our waist because gravity pushes it down. When we're young, we're active, we're jumping all over the place, circulation is no issue. But as we get older, we get a job, we're more sedentary, we move around less. the less active we become, the more that blood stays below our waist, right? And that's what causes complications. If blood stays down there, it causes inflammation in your legs and in your feet. It causes helps to cause restless leg syndrome, right? So the idea is if they elevated their feet at night 20 to 30 minutes before they go to bed, maybe while they're watching TV or they're reading, what it does is help to promote the blood out of their legs and into the rest of their body, and it's actually restorative to their legs. It actually re-strengthens their legs, okay? And I'll tell you this short story. We were at a fair, and this lady, she was 55, 60 years old or whatever. She was taking her grandkids around the fair. And she was just all wore out. She'd been walking around for 2 hours. The kids had been going on the rides and all that. And she happens into this pavilion, and we had these adjustable beds set up. And she asked if there was some place that she could sit down. And I said, absolutely. So she came over and she sat down. And I had her sit down on the bed. I said, I want you to put your legs up there because I want to elevate your legs and re-strengthen your legs. And she was like, what? That's kind of crazy. I'm like, oh, no, really? She sat there for 10 minutes in bed. I elevated the head, but I elevated her feet most importantly. And what it did is it got the blood out of her legs and into the rest of her body. And when she stood up after 10 minutes, she felt like a new person. I mean, it was like she just got to the fair, and her legs felt rejuvenated, right? So that's just an example of what these adjustable beds will do. I just want to give you a short little bit of advice that people with back problems will be acutely aware of the position that's right for them. So as soon as you go through your presentation, the head and the feet, and you tell them about the back, you hand them the controller. If they have a back condition, if they've had an operation on their back or whatever, you show them how to change the head position up and down, how to change the foot position up and down, and hand them the controller and tell them to find the most comfortable position for them. Because someone that's had back surgeries, the position that you choose or that may be pre-programmed into this remote may not be the best position for them. Let them experiment with it and find there is a position that will take almost all the pain out of their back. Let them find it and take control of it. Okay, so just to wrap it up. Number one is you want to put your hand on the bed exactly where you want that customer to sit. You don't want the customer sitting on the end of the bed. You can't make an adjustable bed presentation like that. Once they sit on the bed, here, have a seat right here. Boom. They sit on the bed. Right away you say, okay, put your feet up here and lay right back. They go, oh, I don't want to put my feet on the bed. Well, that's what these are for, right? They'll lay down on the bed high 90% of the time, high 90%, okay? Then you articulate the bed where the head is up and the feet are up. And you want to have a pre-programmed position. You just hit one button. If you don't have one of those controllers, it's okay. It just takes a little extra time. Put the head up and the foot up. And then you say to the customer, I'm going to guarantee you that this bed is going to help you breathe easier. It's going to help with the circulation, and it's going to help if you have any back issues. And I'm going to prove it to you, right? Then do the breathing test. Take in 2 slow, deep breaths. I want you to I have people close their eyes so they concentrate better. Close your eyes, take in 2 slow, deep breaths, and I want you to feel the effort that it takes to breathe. You want to sensitize them to that effort. And then when they do that, then you put it down. After that, right away, then you have them take the 2 slow, deep breaths. They're going to feel the difference, right? There's that first wow moment right there, right? And then you're going to talk about the back. You could feel the pressure coming back on your back when it went flat. Then talk about the circulation, and there's one last thing I'll show you. Now, it usually goes in steps, right? There are different adjustable beds. There are adjustable beds where just the head goes up. That'll help the breathing. There are adjustable beds that the head and the feet go up, and that helps with the breathing, it helps with the circulation, and it helps when both are up to relieve pressure on your back. And the third and the last element that we'll talk about here today is the one with massage. Usually when you start to sell adjustable beds, you'll sell without the massage because the massage is a big upgrade. But it's very important to know the benefits of the massage because a pretty high percentage of the people that buy a base adjustable bed, where the head goes up and down, the foot goes up and down, they will buy the one with the massage. Now, usually, massage depends on the manufacturer. Can be anywhere from $200 to $500 more. All right. So I'm going to tell you how you sell it with a massage. When the head and the feet are elevated and you're going through your presentation, when you get to the legs and you're talking about circulation, right? We know that when your legs are equal or higher than your heart, it helps the blood drain. And so what you do, here's what you add. 20 to 30 minutes before you go to sleep every night, let's say you're watching TV or you're reading, you elevate your legs and you put on this foot massage. What it does, just on the lowest level, what it does is provide that little tickle and provide stimulation to your legs, and that promotes getting the blood out of your legs. It's very efficient. So not only do you elevate your legs and get them higher than your heart, but you also put on that light massage on your legs, and that will help to get the blood out of your legs and up into the rest of your body. Okay? And the other thing too is usually when just the head and the foot are elevated, you just have two buttons, or maybe there's a light on the base, but you just have those two buttons for the head and the foot. When you add a massage, usually it comes with a lot more features on it. For example, this one not only has the light, but there's also 5 different memory positions. So when you find your favorite spot, let's say a person has back issues and they like the head and the foot in a certain position to get that back relief. If you don't have a memory button, they have to try to find that every night. It's kind of like hunt and peck. Where if you have a memory position, they get into bed, they hit one button, boom, it goes right there because the bed remembers the position that relieves their back pain the best. Okay. Also, if they just want to read instead of sitting there and holding the up button, they just hit one of the program buttons that are for reading. You just hit that one button, goes to the perfect position. Or that zero gravity button. You've heard of zero gravity. It's basically the head is elevated and the feet are elevated, and it takes all the pressure off of your back. It's different for everyone, by the way. Usually the pre-programmed position was the head is really high and the feet are really high and the head is up just a little bit. But they can change those different positions. You can have 5 different positions programmed in here. And right now with a Tempur-Pedic, it's $300 more for an adjustable base. So that's it for adjustable bases. This is part 1, and we'll get into some more advanced stuff in the future video. And for now, Roger at Sleep Doctor saying we'll see you next time, and sell a lot of adjustable bases.